Okay, so let's move a little farther out in the solar system to Saturn. And the Cassini mission, which has been at Saturn since 2004, is entering the last year of its mission at this point. And this is just some metrics of how many commands, how much data, how many miles, 2.2 billion miles. It's orbited Saturn 243 times so far. This was actually created back in August of this year. Just a few of the recent releases. This is a view down on the north pole of Saturn. There's no data here, so it's not a hole in the planet. But what's exciting is this hexagonal jet stream that's circulating around the North Pole. And this is a view from a lower latitude where you can see that. And there's it's called the polar vortex. We have similar weather phenomena on the Earth. This is a false color view looking down on it. So this is the equivalent of a very large hurricane that is spinning around in this direction. And even though we've got lots of observations of this, the people that do the atmospheric dynamics still are not terribly confident that they know why it makes this hexagon. On the Earth, this is a circle. So anyway, just one interesting observation. And then just recently, they've observed clouds in the atmosphere of Titan. So these are methane clouds. This is the North Pole of Titan. These are hydrocarbon lakes, so lakes of methane and natural gas on the surface of Titan. And so this has been a set of ongoing observations as well. What's a little different about this is it's springtime in the northern hemisphere on Titan now, and so the illumination is getting much better for observing the North Polar region of the planet, and so this was just a recent release. Okay, so this is a view of all of the different orbits that Cassini has been in over its last 12 years. And all the bluish ones and the white ones are the past orbits. These yellow ones are what it's just now starting to do. So today there was a firing of the onboard, the main propulsion system to change the tilt of the orbit and shrink it fairly dramatically. And so this is the final phase of the mission, where they're going to now dive down very near the rings of Saturn. And so this is just showing you the nomenclature. The rings you would see in a telescope from the Earth are these inner rings. These outer rings have been discovered by spacecraft. So starting today, they're now on a path where the spacecraft will dive down just about 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers outside the edge of this F ring. And this is a very intriguing ring. I'm not sure we have pictures of this in the talk tonight, but there's a little moon just inside the ring and another moon just outside the ring. They're called the shepherd moons. And gravitationally, they keep the ring sort of bound in that area. And so this is just a little animation of what they're about to start doing. So that's a moon zooming by. moons. And so you can see waves caused by the moons moving around. And these are some of the satellites, the smaller moons of Saturn. There's Daphnis. Okay, there it is. There's this Saturn's version of one of these spiral waves, and they think what this is you've got a proto-moon that might be just a few tens of meters in diameter, and the gravity of that is enough to cause this clumping, these spiral waves. So starting in late April, they'll do another orbit tweak, and they'll actually start flying on the inner edge of the rings, and they'll get within less than 2,000 kilometers of the cloud tops of Saturn, and then in September 15th, they will actually dive into the atmosphere of Saturn, and the spacecraft will burn up, and that's the end of the mission. And for those of you that haven't heard this story before, you might ask, why do we throw away a perfectly good spacecraft? And the answer is they're really at the end of the mission. They're running very low on propellant, and they want to make sure that they dispose of the spacecraft so that it doesn't impact either Titan or one of these smaller ice moons like Enceladus that have liquid water oceans on them. We see geysers going off on this. So you don't want to be contaminating these satellites with Earth stuff, potentially biology from Earth, for when we actually finally get there and see if there's any indigenous life forms. So this is the one way we know to actually ensure that that never happens, is you burn up in the atmosphere and take care of the problem. So September 15th, we've got a ways to go.